Hello Patreon subscribers and new listeners, you are listening to Feed Your Mind. And so today's video we will discuss how Steph Curry recently came out against the moon landing. From what I heard, he didn't get into too much detail about it, but he was asked about it in a podcast and he vehemently denied that the moon landing happened.
Curry also made some headlines for comments on a podcast where he doesn't believe in the moon landing.
We ever been to the moon?
Nope.
They gonna come get us. I don't think so either.
Elon Musk is
Sorry, I don't want to start a conspiracy.
They ain't been on the moon.
You don't think so?
Mm-mm.
Now, Curry isn't old enough, right? I mean, I remember where I was in, this...
Wait a minute.
This is
That's
our
it, isn't it?
archival footage of...
See, this is what happens. You turn the sports guys loose.
Right, you're right. It's we're having fun with it. But I do remember where I was in 1969, right?
Sure.
Houston.
When they faked
the moon landing. Exactly. You're too young. You don't remember that moment. But it was a black and white TV. I was at the Russian River. During, what do we say? Houston Tranquility Base. The Eagle has landed.
The Eagle has landed.
Like yesterday.
All right, Dennis. It was a real deal.
Yeah, I believe.
Dennis.
And so the average person usually responds like, of course we went to the moon. I saw footage of it. And so on ESPN, former basketball star Jalen was discussing the Steph Curry incident with Jacoby, and Jacoby was basically saying that Steph must be a fool to believe that the moon landing never happened because we have video footage of it. Well, Jalen actually agrees with Steph, and he replied on air saying that he isn't buying the moon landing either.
Jalen Rose, please, just please tell me that you believe that human beings landed on the moon.
I'm with Steph and AI on this one.
I knew it.
I'm with them on this one.
Okay, if you're gonna say, you've seen the footage.
Let me tell you this.
There's footage.
I see a lot of footage that gets doctored. I see a lot of footage.
Look at that
that's
footage.
not necessarily accurate.
So
or
you're,
an
this is a sound studio. This is a sound studio. That's what you're saying. This is directed by Martin Scorsese.
All right. Here's the thing.
Photoshop in 1968.
How many years ago was that? 50 years, right? So if we were making that level of progress 50 years ago, this is when people barely were watching television, when it was not in color, it's black and white. Okay, this was segregation was taking place in our country.
What makes you think that we were not on the moon?
Where's the progress?
Okay.
Jacoby basically couldn't understand how you could not believe in the moon landing when there's footage of it. So this really gives us insight into the average thinker, because the average thinker heard we landed on the moon, and whether or not they were alive at that time when the moon landing took place, everybody just kind of accepts that the moon landing happened. And so it appears that most people believe that, well, why would they lie about the moon landing? It just doesn't make any sense why anybody would lie about such a thing. Well, if you really want to know why they would lie about such a thing, that's a big part of the awakening process. And so I'm going to leave a link in the comment section in the description box so you can see my presentation, which is possibly the presentation that Steph Curry saw that convinced him that the moon landing didn't happen. So check out that video. Like I said, the link's in the comment section in the description box, and you will know everything you need to know about the moon landing. NASA already admitted they don't have the technology to go back to the moon. They said they lost the technology. Some of it was destroyed.
I'd go to the moon in a nanosecond. The problem is we don't have the technology to do that anymore.
I haven't seen anything that indicates the telemetry data is even in existence. And as I said, even if we had it, we don't have the machines to play it back.
But your own research has shown the telemetry data is missing.
That's right.
Unfortunately, I'm afraid I can't really give you much of a clue as to where this data ended up and whether it still exists or not.
We only can fly in Earth orbit. That's the farthest that we can go. And this news.
To this day, NASA still admits that they can't get to deep space because of the Van Allen radiation belt. No one has ever been back to the moon. The Russians gave up on going to the moon. It's been like 40, 50 years. Nobody has ever been back to the moon. There should be hotels and space stations up there already right now, but there's not. The reason why is because they didn't go in the first place. Now, the interesting thing about Steph Curry, who is a championship player for the Golden State Warriors coming out against the moon landing, is that not too long ago, Kyrie Irving was going around saying the earth was flat. And even Shaquille O'Neal jumped in, and LeBron James jumped in, and a few other high-profile NBA basketball players jumped in and they were all saying that the earth was flat. And so flat earth is basically the next step you're going to end up probably reaching after you realize the moon landing was fake. So it's very possible that Steph Curry also knows that the earth is flat. And so a lot of these guys, they come out and say these things and then they kind of try to take it back after a while because they start losing sponsorships and endorsements and stuff like that. But there really does seem to be something going on in the NBA where these guys are all trading this information around in the NBA. And they all seem to know that something's going on with this world that we've been told that we live in. This place that you live in called Earth is not what you were told by science. Earth is not the place that was presented to us by the school system and NASA. Earth is something very much different than what we have been told, and you're going to have to do all your research. And so I have plenty of videos on this channel where you can get all caught up. Most people at NASA, they just go to work and they do their job and they go home. It doesn't take every employee to hide something like this. This is a chain of command thing where only the people at the top need to know. The rest of the people just report to work and they do their job and they work on their projects and they don't understand what's going on either. So what do you think? Does Steph Curry know that the earth is flat and he's just warming up with this whole moon landing stuff? Let me know in the comment section. Simply enter your email address at feedyourmind1.com. That way I can send you some cool news briefs throughout the week. It's completely free. Like, comment, share, and subscribe, and include your favorite flat earth proof, and you're automatically entered into a chance to win a free collectible from my Feed Your Mind pop-up shop. Please chip in $1 to $5 on my Patreon page. I got some cool gifts for you over there. Because a truth channel like this is going to require us to be listener supported for me to be able to continue to put out videos. Thanks for your support. Please click your notification bell. This has been another episode of Feed Your Mind. Thank you for tuning in. Signing off.